McKinney is an active, connected, and engaged community with an excellent quality of life. With new leadership in place and strategic plans taking shape for the years to come, the city is laying the building blocks for a bright future, and residents can be confident that the best is truly yet to come. City leadership continues to enhance McKinney's quality of life. City Council ushered in a new chapter as they appointed Paul Grimes as city manager. Budget funds, provided by citizen tax dollars, provide the services, facilities, and infrastructure that make McKinney a superior community. The council adopted a reduced property tax rate, keeping approximately $1.7 million in the hands of taxpayers. McKinney has been growing rapidly for more than a decade, and still, more than 30,000 acres of McKinney's northwest sector is poised for development. Planning use of this area is one of the most important projects the city faces to unlock its true potential. It's an opportunity to continue the city's success and the careful planning that makes McKinney unique by nature. Construction continued on the $36 million Apex Center, the new aquatics and fitness facility at Gabe Nesbitt Community Park. Construction soon begins on a 9-acre site in the downtown area. The mixed-use development will add to the diversity of development in our city and will expand the city's vibrant historic downtown. Continuing to recruit and retain business in McKinney remains a priority. The McKinney Economic Development Corporation announced projects with an estimated capital investment totaling nearly $58 million and generating more than 380 new jobs. McKinney National Airport operations rose more than 10% compared to last year. McKinney Air Center, which provides fuel and other aircraft services, has seen an 18% rise in fuel sales, an increase of more than 16% in revenues above 2015. The airport generates ad valorem tax revenue that helps fund local road improvements, emergency services, education, and more. In a partnership with the school district, more than 400 students earn dual college credit in the popular aviation program, inspiring students to pursue a career in technology and aviation. Resident and community well-being is a priority for the nearly 1,000 hardworking staff members. They ensure residents receive necessary services so that the city is continually recognized as one of the best places to live. This year, the fire department broke ground on Fire Station Number 9, which will provide life-saving capabilities to residents and businesses in the northwest sector of McKinney. McKinney's police department has a new neighborhood unit that enables officers to get to know the people they protect. The Neighborhood Police Officer Unit gets out of patrol cars and onto bicycles and horses and works with crime watch groups, homeowners associations, and other community groups to provide a proactive approach to crime prevention and awareness. From our beautiful natural topography to our opportunities for growing businesses, we're proud of the city that McKinney has become. One brick at a time, one park at a time, one road at a time, we're laying the foundation for a bright future.
Good afternoon. I'm sitting at Representative Sanford's table. He does a lot of speaking. He said someone told him, do not eat a lot of food before you speak, so I just had an entire plate of pasta, which is wonderful. If my speech becomes a little slurred, don't worry, it's just working its way through my brain. But my name is Scott Peak. I'm honored to serve as the board chairman for the 2016 Chamber of Commerce Board Directors, and I want to thank you for spending time here today. We know you all have very busy schedules. This is one of our premier events. And I also would be remiss if I didn't thank Lisa and her staff for doing such a great job. So can you join me in thanking the Chamber staff? So my role today, and I'll be brief, is just to introduce all of our speakers. We've got 4 great speakers lined up to tell you a little bit about all of the great things going on in and around our community. And I'm pleased to welcome to the stage for the first time, as Lisa mentioned, our new city manager, Paul Grimes. Mr. Grimes became the city manager in August 2016, where he reports to a 7-member city council overseeing 1,000 city employees spread across 17 departments. Prior to joining McKinney, Mr. Grimes served as the village manager for Village of Orland Park, Illinois, since June 2008. There, Orland Park became the first public body in Illinois to earn 100% score on the Illinois Policy Institute's Transparency Index. Mr. Grimes served as both an officer and enlisted man in the U.S. Navy. He holds master's degrees from Indiana University and a bachelor's from Purdue University. Please join me in welcoming for the first time to the stage of the State of the City, Mr. Paul Grimes.
Thank you, Scott. I appreciate it. Lisa, thank you as well. So, it's a very kind welcome, and I tell you, that's an understatement because we've been here now 3 months, and every place we've gone, by the way, I want to recognize my wife, Lucy, here. She's sitting at the table. This is her first as well. And I think I speak, thank you, I think I speak for her when I say that the community has just been outstanding. They've welcomed us with open arms. We have 3 kids in the schools, McKinney School District, Dr. McDaniel, and it has been terrific. We really are pleased with our decision, so thank you. We're thrilled to be part of the McKinney community, and we're thrilled with our decision to relocate. It wouldn't surprise many of you, I suppose, from the Chicago region to the great state of Texas. It's been great. I officially drive a truck now, so let's get a big applause, right? You can't be in Texas without a truck. In considering our decision, you might think it was the warmer winters, right? And that is, of course, a very big deal for us, coming from the windy city of Chicago, and it is very welcome. But you'd be wrong. You'd think it was the great quality of life, though McKinney, of course, was recently named the best place to live in America. How about another applause for that, too? But you'd be wrong to think that that was the only reason that we considered. And you'd also think maybe it was the great schools. And they are top-notch schools, recognized as some of the top schools in the nation, not only the state of Texas, but nationally. But you'd be wrong to attribute just that, too. Rather, what really attracted us to McKinney was the unbounded optimism that is shared by the community and the region. Collin County really gets things done. McKinney's right there at the heart of it. That infectious mood of growth and the youth, the optimism, it permeates the entire community. And that's really what sold us on McKinney. So we're truly happy to be part of a new chapter in the city, and it is a new era. We have a virtually new management team with the city, and they all look forward to serving and helping and shape the exciting growth in the future of McKinney. I do want to take one moment. Please, city staff, stand up and be recognized. Everybody here from the city staff, stand up and be recognized. Our police, our fire, all of our development services, our IT folks, these are folks, the city manager's office, they're all working really hard to serve you. And that's the culture that we're trying to bring and facilitate and cultivate. They are ready. They're the subject matter experts. They are very, very good. My job is to try to help keep that ship steered in the right direction and continue that model of servant leadership that we all embrace. So thank you for that. It takes an entire community to coalesce and move forward. Everyone in this community has a role to play. The community, that's all of you, the stakeholders in the community, the city council, they shape the direction, they steer the ship, they tell us what course they want to chart, and our job is to get there. But it is a team effort. And I can pledge to you that I'm going to do my level best to keep the momentum of this great community moving to ensure that, indeed, the best is yet to come. Thanks to all of you that have made our transition easier, and special thanks to the mayor and the city council for the opportunity to serve this great community. Thank you. Now, as I hand this back to Scott, I want to please note one thing. You have hand cards on your tables. Those hand cards, they look like this. Please take those with you. They capture the message of this annual report. In fact, you can go there. There's an address on these cards that takes you to the website with this annual report and the videos. So please share this with everybody that you can. And notice the website address again down on the bottom of it. Thank you once again. I appreciate it, and we look forward to the rest of the message. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul. We welcome you and your family to McKinney and look forward to great things under your leadership. And I just want to echo what you said and thank the city staffers, the police and the fire department and those who work behind the scenes. Thank the council. We live in a day and age where it's easy to criticize, and I'm sure you guys probably only hear when things go wrong. But I can tell you, as someone who's been in business in McKinney, someone who lives here, you guys do a great job. So thank you very much. It's now my privilege to introduce Dr. Neil Matkin. Dr. Matkin became Collin College's 3rd District President in April of 2015. Prior to that, he served as Executive Vice President of the Louisiana Community and Technical College System, where he was the Executive Vice President for over 16 colleges. He served statewide as the Chair of the Board of Regents, Articulation and Transfer Committee. Prior to that, Dr. Matkin was President of the Central Campus of San Jacinto College in Pasadena, Texas, Vice Chancellor and Chief Information Officer for the Virginia Community College System, and Chief Administrative Officer for the Illinois Century Network, a statewide effort under the Illinois Board of Higher Education. Dr. Matkin also currently serves on the Collin County Business Alliance Board and the Congressional Veterans Commendation Selection Board. He holds Associates of Arts, Bachelor of Arts, Masters of Science, Masters of Business Administration degrees. Wow, that's an expensive education right there. Dr. Matkin earned his doctoral of education from Texas A&M University in Commerce. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Neil Matkin.
Well, greetings, everyone. How are you? Where's Paul? Paul, I saw you. Does it bother you at all that you moved from Chicago area and the Cubbies win? Does it just hurt you just a little? White Sox fan. All right. He says that now, okay? Well, folks, every great once in a while, you come along and you enter a community. And McKinney is such a community that you certainly realize that you're on the cusp of some amazing things. You look at the past and some amazing things have already happened, but now you're looking forward and you're thinking the best is yet to come. And I want to set the stage. What I'd like to do today is introduce you to Collin College's master plan. And I want to set the stage by going back to 1987 and playing for you an advertisement that was quoted by a speaker at one of the most recent Collin County Business Alliance meetings. And it reminded me of how much I enjoyed the advertisement for the Think Different from the Apple Corporation. I want to start off with that. And we've got a little tag video on the back that shows you a few of the things that Collin's working on. And on the back end, I'll talk a little bit about our master plan. So if we can roll that video.
Here's to the crazy ones, the misfits, the rebels, the troublemakers, the round pegs in the square holes, the ones who see things differently. They're not fond of rules, and they have no respect for the status quo. You can quote them, disagree with them, glorify or vilify them. About the only thing you can't do is ignore them. Because they change things. They push the human race forward. While some may see them as the crazy ones, we see genius. Because the people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do. people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do.
How about that? Well, I'm going to tell you a little secret. I was so anxious to get here this morning that I drove off and left my notes. But it's going to be okay because I've covered this master plan stuff before. I think we're going to be all right. We got 5 major points. Can we start the slides? And one more. Excellent. In September 2015, after an arduous process, our Board of Trustees adopted our master plan. We started back in October of 2015, and it took 6 months and worked very, very hard. And in April, we got the draft, and it only took us several months after that to come up with the final. There are 5 major points, and the components of the study actually included a lot of areas. We looked at everything from traffic plans around our campuses, and guess what? We have some campuses that need some new lights, but we're not in Plano, so I'm not going to burden you with that right here. We also looked at the labor market study. We brought a firm out of Boston called FutureWorks, and we looked not just at what we need tomorrow, but what we need the next 5 to 10 years. And we started comparing that with what we're currently offering and asking hard questions. Are we really providing everything that we need to maintain the quality of life in this incredible part of the country? Because that's important to us. We also looked at demographics. We know we're growing, but where are we growing and how are we growing and who's moving in? Where are these people coming from that are filling out our roads? You know, I jokingly talk about leaving my office in McKinney and going down 121, and I used to be able to get to the Dallas Tollway in 12 minutes. At 80 miles per hour, but I had a conversation with one of your police officers here in McKinney. If you're in the room, please wave at me now. And they very kindly admonished me that there was a speed limit in Collin County. And so I've not had that experience again. Whew. But I used to be able to get 12 minutes point to point and just straight 70 miles an hour. And now, a few weeks ago, I was giving this talk and I realized I could only get to Coit before it slowed down to 30 miles an hour at 8:15 in the morning. And now I get to Independence. It's getting closer and closer, and I'm starting to think, it wasn't this way 18 months ago. It's filling up. So we looked at everything. And we also asked some hard questions. What do we want to be? Who do we want to serve? Right now, 70% of our students come to us, they stay for a day, a year, a month, and they transfer to a university. We have an incredible program of transferring students to universities. Right at 30% of our students come to us for workforce programming. And guess what? 70% of students are going to require more than high school, but less than a baccalaureate degree in the economy that's projected to be part of the United States, the majority of the United States, through 2030. So we're looking at programming to make sure we're relevant. It's important to us. I think that's good for this slide. We can go to the next one. So I mentioned the Board of Trustees approved it in 2016. We have 5 priorities, and the main focus is delivering a brighter future for our students and our communities. Folks, to deliver a brighter future, you know what you have to do? You got to listen. You got to know what that brighter future is comprised of. So as a result, we can't possibly deliver a brighter future unless we have conversations with everyone that we're serving. Next slide, please. So the first was to increase outreach and create streamlined pathways from secondary all the way up through universities. We want to make sure that students are coming to us, have an easy time coming to us, don't have to take credits they don't need. And the first item on that list is making sure that 30 hours of college credit is available at every single high school in Collin County. Folks, we already have a $500 million footprint of money and return on investment back to the community. The best gift that I can give a parent with a college-age child is 30 credits in the bank before they ever graduate high school. I got to tell you, though, I have a son, our third son, Benjamin, went to the University of Texas at Austin. I tried to get him to go to Texas A&M. But he went there, and I was so pleased because he went with 30-plus hours of AP and International Baccalaureate and dual credit courses. And I thought, man, he's going to get out in 3 years, and Mama and I are going to have a new car. It'd been a while because we had 3 sons in college at the same time, right? That's expensive. So I thought, oh, this is going to be so great. He was there for 3 weeks before he called me and goes, Dad, it's Benjamin. Hey, Benj, how you doing? Dad, I'm doing great. I've decided to double major. What? Dad, I'll talk to you later. So later came, and I said, what are you double majoring in? Dad, he went up and he was majoring in computational science. I'm thinking, yes, he'll get a job with that off the payroll. This is going to be great. His double major was theater and dance. I said, son, what are you thinking? So now instead of 3 years, it's 4.5 years. He's my only child with student loans because I'm only paying so much. So I said, what are you thinking? He goes, Dad, have you seen the girls and the sciences? So fast forward, he's just about, yeah. So I'm glad to know it was something substantive that was leading his future. So fast forward, he's now about to graduate with his master's at the University of Louisiana in Lafayette, and he's engaged and to be married in March of next year to a young PhD student named Caroline. And what's her PhD in, you might ask? How about biology? I said, son, should I tell her about the girls and the sciences? So that 30 hours, it was supposed to save me a lot of money. It didn't. But it could save each of you a lot of money. Can you go back to my first slide? We talked about expanding partnerships with K-12 career and technical education. Another thing we're working on is embedding career counselors. It's going to be huge. We haven't gotten to that yet, but we will. Fourth thing is reviewing our programs. I talked about that, make sure they're fully transferable. And then expanding university offerings. Many of you don't know that right here in McKinney, we have a Collin Higher Education Center with 3,300 students working on their bachelor's, master's, and doctorate at either the University of North Texas, Texas A&M Commerce, University of Texas at Dallas, Texas Tech, or at Texas Woman's, right here in McKinney. How many of you knew that? We've done a better job than I thought. Way to go, Lisa. We're getting the information out there. Next slide, please. So the other thing is expanding our physical footprint. And this is a big, big deal because as that traffic continues to grow, our campuses for 100% commuter college actually get a little further away, right? What took our students 15 minutes to get to 10 years ago can take 45 or 30 minutes easy. So the first thing that's of interest, I think, to the city of McKinney is in a partnership with the city of McKinney and the city of Allen, and what an incredible place we live where a neighboring city is going to invest millions of dollars in a project in another city for the good of the community. Where do you find that? You find it right here in Collin County. But we're building a public safety training center off of 75 just across the highway from our first campus, Central Park campus in McKinney. And it's going to be a police and fire training academy, second to none. And it's going to serve the entire community. McKinney, we appreciate your partnership. We're going to have a great time together. We're going to do some amazing things together. It's going to be a lot of fun. We've acquired 4 out of 5 of the parcels of land that we need. And thank you to the city of Wiley for a beautiful, incredible donation of property to build our 4th major campus, an area that's been underserved and we're excited about. We're also building, as you saw in the video, centers in Salina and Farmersville. Next slide, please. We're adding workforce and academic programs along with to meet projected Collin County labor needs. We've talked about that already, so next slide, please. And this one's an important one. The idea is being welcoming to all. We've got a truly cosmopolitan community here in Collin County. Notice the points. We talked already about streamlining processes for students to come on board to make sure we're easy to do business with. I spent all day on Monday trying to buy hardwood floors, and I've come to realize I can't afford new hardwood floors. They're very expensive. Did you know this? And by the time I finished researching and everything else, I just wanted to just cry. And I thought, I'm somewhere closer to the top of the food chain than my students are. How frustrating is my campus to do business with my students? My best part of the day happened at Ag Power. Isn't Ag Power right here in McKinney? John Deere dealership. I took my wife's John Deere hat. The clasp had broken. I walked in and said, hey, it's broken. She never got to wear it. They said, get another one. I said, okay. That was it. No paperwork, nothing. Get another one. That's the kind of business model we're trying to emulate here at Collin. And by the way, if you haven't done business in McKinney, that's pretty much the way it is here. It's laid back, it's comfortable, and folks actually like one another. That's a good thing. Other quick points, adding student engagement activities, intramurals. We've hired an intramural director to make sure we have students have reasons to stay on the campus. You'll see a point, creating centers for veteran services, as well as student resource centers and bookstores. The last part of the master plan has to do with our maintenance plan. We're 31 years old now, and buildings are starting to get a little older. So we had an incredible inventory of all of our buildings to make sure that we knew what was going to take to maintain them over the next 10 years. And guess what? By knowing what's going to come due and what systems are likely to run out of warranty and break at what time, we can actually plan and save money. Let me close simply by saying this. Collin College is absolutely committed to being the college of choice and the educational provider of choice for our Collin County region. We've got a lot of activity in McKinney, both now and planned. We're so excited to be a part of this community. If there's anything we can do for you or your children, your grandchildren, your nieces and your nephews, we are the best deal in town. Lowest tuition in the state, but 8 Carnegie-ranked professors, more than any other college in the United States. Our nursing program has been a center of excellence nationally recognized for the last 5 years. And I want to stop for just a moment this year and welcome Texas A&M College Station, Texas Tech, and UT Arlington for also achieving that honor 5 years later. So it's great that they joined us. We were the only one in Texas for 5 years. You know, I'm not bragging. I didn't do it. That was Dr. Israel. But folks, we are an incredible value. And more important than all of that, we have the second lowest tax rate out of 50 community colleges across the state. We do it here in Collin County with the second lowest tax rate around. As this project master plan goes forward, our board has signaled their intention to do a bond issue. And I'm pretty proud to tell you, I can't advocate for a bond issue, that's illegal. But I'm pretty proud to tell you if the board does go that route, it'll be a zero tax situation, no change. So I'm pretty proud of the board and what they've done. We've got a fantastic board of trustees, and we're so proud to be here. Thank you for having me today.
Our next guest is someone who's undoubtedly making a big impact and a big difference in McKinney. Dr. Rick McDaniel, who has been in public education for 29 years, has served in vital leadership roles every stage of his career. The oldest of 4 boys. He graduated from Stephen F. Austin. I won't tell him when, Rick. Before beginning his career as a teacher and a coach in Tyler, Texas, where he ultimately became principal of Tyler Lee High School, the very high school in which his career began. In 2005, Dr. McDaniel moved to McKinney, Texas, and was selected to open up Boyd High School. This 8-year tenure as principal at Boyd proved to be a very successful one. During his tenure, the school experienced tremendous success academically, athletically, and in the area of fine arts. He received several honors and distinctions as the school reached high levels of success in a very short period of time. In 2014, Dr. McDaniel was named assistant superintendent, and then in 2015 was named the superintendent. I think many of you have kids who go to school in McKinney schools, and if not, you still benefit from his leadership, whether it's through your business, through your home values, because great schools are a foundation of a great community. And so I want to thank Dr. McDaniel for his leadership, and please join me in welcoming him to the stage.
The answer is Tony Romo. Okay, Dak Prescott. Either one, you can't go wrong, right? Either one. Well, listen, guys, I am extremely pleased to have an opportunity today to get up here and share with you all of the great updates I can possibly provide for you concerning McKinney ISD. But I don't know when I'll have another opportunity in a forum like this to publicly thank our mayor, Brian Lockmiller. So I want to just one more time say, Brian, with all sincerity, thank you for your support of McKinney ISD during your time as mayor, and even before that. He's had kids come through our system, and Donna, his wife, has been a tremendous supporter as well. And to your family, just thank you for your service, and thank you for all your support from McKinney ISD. I just wanted to start by saying that publicly. I don't know when I'll have another chance to do so, okay? So. In my office, I have a piece of stone with an engraved quote that describes how I personally feel about not only my role as superintendent, but our mission in McKinney ISD as an organization. The statement says, "To those that have been given much, much is required." And that statement describes what gets me up in the morning. It gives me and the others in McKinney ISD a sense of direction And last year, you will recall that I stood before you at this very event and expressed my desire for McKinney ISD to be a first-class organization in all that we do, from our parent communication to general communication to our academic extracurricular successes, our facility improvements, etc. We want to be first class in all that we do. Well, that said, first-class organizations don't just mysteriously appear overnight. Do you want to have a first-class organization? That comes as a result of individuals such as the ones sitting in this room, working together, joining together with a common mission and an eye on continuous improvement, whether that's human capital, facilities, the way we tax our community. We're looking for improvement in all of those areas. So let me start by sharing just a few slides to help paint a picture of where we are and where we are headed as a district. So I'll start with this first slide. This is a pie chart that basically describes, I know it's kind of hard to read from where you are, but basically what it describes is how we allocate money in McKinney ISD. And what I want to draw your attention to is this area over here in the yellow. That basically represents the amount of money that we spend on instruction in McKinney ISD. In the upper left-hand corner, you'll see that little small sliver. That's the administrative costs, all right? That would be your superintendent. That would be the cost that we pay for central office support. And then to the left, just underneath that, you'll see school leadership. That's our principals, assistant principals, counselors, et cetera. But what you'll notice is that the majority of our money is put where? In instruction, and that is by design. Putting our money where we get the most bang for our buck, and that is the academic success of our students. Also, I want to bring to your attention this. In our district, we currently have a CFO, Jason Bird, Jason's in the crowd, that makes sure through his work with our central office folks and through our board that we are in great financial shape. And I cannot stress enough how good financially shape we're in. So if you look up here, you'll see that at the very bottom, I know I want to read this entire thing to you, but I want to bring the bottom one to your attention. We have a superior rating on the state's first, that's the Financial Integrity Rating System of Texas. MISD has earned that maximum score for 12 times in the last 13 years. All that means we're able to go to the community and ask you to pass a bond election such as you did last spring and not have this tremendous tax increase. As a matter of fact, quite the contrary. Okay. This thing's going nuts on me. Last spring, went before our voters and I asked our community if you would be willing to support our district with a $220 million bond proposal. And our community overwhelmingly supported our district moving forward with the following items. And I'm sure that everywhere you go across our city, people ask you questions about when's the new auditorium going to be built at McKinney High? When's the stadium going to be completed? When are we going to get all those safety and security cameras? I can tell you that in the next 4 to 5 years, we're going to deliver everything on this list the way we proposed it to our community. As you all know, there are individuals that question me about how are we able to afford such a facility and how's that going to promote the things that we have going in McKinney ISD. I will tell you this, I said this last year as well, the most valuable asset that we have in our district right now is human capital. Our teachers. Teachers have a choice of where they want to teach, don't they? You look around us, they can go to Allen, they can go to Frisco, they can go to Plano, all these wonderful school districts. If you don't think that the facilities that these teachers walk into every single day matters where they choose to teach, they absolutely do. So we continue to improve the facilities that we have through additions and renovations, as well as add new facilities to our district to make it first class at every turn. All of this, as a result of the work of our finance department, can be done with us still lowering taxes, 4.5 cents. 0 tax increase is really good. In the district, we're able to do this and actually have these different items occur. and thus still drop our taxes by 4.5 cents. Now, originally, if you'll recall, we said that we were going to drop our taxes by 2 cents. As property values come in, we discovered that we could lower it even more, 4.5 cents. This is a picture of our stadium and event center, which if you've been up and down Hardin, you know that they've broken the ground on that particular event center and stadium, and it'll be completed sometime towards the end of next football season, possibly even into December or January, but we're working as fast as we can. Also, at the end of the stadium in the south end, we have the Professional Development Center / Community Event Center, which will be open for anyone in our community to use. We will also be able to do professional development in this particular center. We're extremely excited to be delivering that as well as the stadium. Also, we're equally excited about the proposition of having a brand new auditorium at McKinney High School. For those of you who have been to McKinney North or McKinney Boyd, you know that the auditoriums in those facilities are top notch. I mean, 1,000+ students can fit in there. McKinney High School, even though it was renovated from the 2011 bond proposition, still lacks with their auditorium. So this last bond that we passed in the spring will enable us to have a state-of-the-art auditorium at McKinney High School as well. At the end of the day, all of these facility improvements and financial status, as great as that is, pales in comparison to our number one priority. Our number one priority is and always will be the academic success of the students that we're entrusted with every single year. So if you look at this particular slide, I want to bring just some attention to some of our academic successes. In McKinney ISD, we had 34 National Merit Commended Scholars, which is among the top 2% in the state of Texas. We had 10 National Merit semifinalists, which is among the top 1%. And we had 19 National Hispanic Recognition Scholars, again, amongst the top 2% in the state of Texas. For those of you who are familiar with our AP program, our Advanced Placement Program, you know that students can get college credit through academic placement and passing tests at the high school level. In McKinney ISD, we had 445 AP scholars, 135 AP scholars with honors, 243 AP scholars with distinction, 57 AP national scholars, and 1 international AP diploma awarded to McKinney ISD. That is just a taste of the academic success that we're having right now in McKinney ISD. I would also like to mention this. I don't know if you get asked this question from people that are contemplating moving to McKinney, but I get asked this all the time. Hey, what's the best high school? I want to go to wherever the best high school is. And I can stand before you as a superintendent of this district and tell you unequivocally, all of our high schools are good. As a matter of fact, they rate in the top 5% of high schools their size in the United States of America. That is huge. So to say that we've got a really good thing going at our high school level in McKinney ISD is certainly an accurate statement. All right. I want to wrap this up by reminding everyone that we realize and accept the responsibility that goes with providing our community with a school district that we can all be proud of. I take that challenge seriously and would welcome any and all stakeholders in this room to join us in this endeavor. I also want to sincerely thank everyone in this room for their continued support of McKinney ISD and our efforts to maintain status as a first-class organization. Now, as you all know, it's one thing for me to stand before you and discuss our district. However, it's entirely different when the story is seen through the eyes of our students. So therefore, I'll conclude with a short video which will shed some light on just how special McKinney ISD is, regardless of your background, your ability level, or your socioeconomic status. At this time, if you'll show the video.
My mother is from El Salvador. She immigrated to the United States. She was about 17 years old. My father left us when I was 4, and it was difficult because my mom, couldn't afford a babysitter, couldn't afford anything like that, so she would actually take us with her to work, and she'd have us sitting in her minivan, and that was the life that we lived. As you kind of start getting older, though, you hit middle school, you hit high school, and you start hearing about this word, college. And you also have to think about how you're going to pay for college. How am I going to afford it? My mom works at a car wash.
I had a teacher, actually, who was an alumnus from Rice,
And he talked to me. He talked to me about, thinking about applying to Rice. I had been thinking about applying to, state schools, schools that were, cheaper, maybe a community college to get your basics done, And so when I found out that I had made it, that I was able to get in, that just felt really good. It felt like hard work pays off, and that you can really just, work your way up, and you can really overcome all the barriers that life has set for you, all the things that you weren't able to control, and you can get past that.
It sounds cliche, but it's absolutely essential, especially when no one else may believe in them. I just like to know that I'm part of a school that really makes a difference in students' lives. And Jason is definitely not the first to experience this kind of incredible opportunity, and he definitely won't be the last.
Luke McKinley is a 4th grader at Caldwell Elementary. It's a dual language campus, so he spends 50% of his time learning in English, 50% in Spanish. On top of that, he's also in the Alpha program, so he goes to Webb 2 days a week and does accelerated learning over there, and then he also comes to me, his dyslexia teacher, earlier in the day so that he can get an extra 30 minutes of instruction into his day than what the regular students get. He was very self-aware that there was something wrong with his reading, and for someone as intelligent as what he is and self-aware as he is, it was really hurting his self-esteem a lot. So it was painful for me to watch it. One of the things that I point out to Luke is that please don't see it as a disability. It's actually a gift. You just have a different way of looking at the world, and I don't ever want him to feel like it's keeping him back. It's not. It's great to see how much self-confidence he has now and how he's not afraid of the reading. He's eager, very eager to learn the skills that he needs. He loves to learn. So I love working with this student. Yes, I do, I really do.
Lawson Early Childhood School serves all the preschool age students in McKinney. We have 3, 4, and 5-year-olds, and they have all different ability levels and come from all different socioeconomic backgrounds. And here we believe that every kid can do anything. There's no limitations based on ability or where they come from. The STEAM room is a new center we set up at Lawson. Science, technology, engineering, art, and math. So all of those different categories are hit in the room, and the kids get to build and explore and learn. And then they have also the little B-bot in there, and they can hit the buttons on the B-bot, and they have to hit forward, backward, left, and right. So they're working on directional skills, and then they also work on the next step or the next 40 steps ahead. They really have to think and to plan out their sequencing. And it's kind of cool to see the kids code. I mean, you don't expect a 4-year-old to be coding a computer, but they can.
Now we don't want her running to the grass, so what do we need her to do? To turn. Which way does she need to turn? Okay.
Zakaya she has a lot of things that could hold her back, but they don't. She has a disability, but that is not who she is. And so she has learned how to code the B-bot and do all kinds of cool stuff. And she is so excited to learn and to do that next step. And she was telling everybody in the whole school that she was able to make the bee go.
Up, turn, up.
What do you want to do, so?
Turn.
What do you want to do?
Up.
You just want to move it and then move it back. Okay.
Go.
Let's see how it works.
Is she gonna make it to the engineer?
She's gonna make it.
Is she?
She did it.
On behalf of everyone that works at McKinney ISD, we thank you for your continued support, and we look forward to a bright future together. We do believe that our best is yet to come as well, and we thank you for allowing us to be a part of it. Have a great day.
Thank you, Rick. Very inspiring video, and appreciate the work that you're doing. Our last guest is somebody who hardly needs an introduction. So last but certainly not least, someone I'm very proud to call my mayor, Mayor Brian Lockmiller. I had a very thoughtful and heartfelt speech prepared, Brian, but Lisa and Rick kind of stole my thunder, and we don't want your head to get too big. But know that you're appreciated, and I do want to point out and acknowledge that behind every good man's an even greater woman. So if y'all could join me in thanking Donna for her service to our city as well. So I have about 2 pages of accomplishments. Let me just summarize it by saying Brian's been our mayor since 2009, and he's served on a lot of stuff. So y'all join me in welcoming, for the last time at State of the City, Brian Lockmiller to the stage.
I'm glad y'all are still here. Okay, so this is my last year, and I know it's getting late, and I appreciate that you're going to stay, but in case you have to leave to go back to work, I need this from. So, y'all, make sure you smile. Can y'all move in a little? Perfect. I had some good jokes about the Cubs, but I don't have time, so we'll skip that. You know, growing up as a Cardinal fan and being used to world championships, it's nice that the Cubs finally figured out how to do one, but anyway. And I know the Rangers will get there also, but they won't take 108 years. So that being said, this is my last opportunity to speak to you at the State of the Community as your mayor, and I do want to take an opportunity, first of all, to thank the Chamber of Commerce, because they have been a great partner of the city the entire time that I've been in office, and even before that. They also have, in addition to these types of events, just their advocacy for local government issues. There's a lot of things that they do behind the scenes that you're not possibly aware of because they have so many meetings. So it's not always just the parties, but there are some important things that they do from a legislative standpoint too. And you mentioned my wife. I appreciate that. You know, every year, I have a little bit of a complaint every year. I say, you guys always have State of the Community the week of my anniversary, and I think in one year we actually had it on our anniversary. And I started thinking about that. I was putting this together, and I realized that I've been serving on city council and as mayor now for basically 14 out of the last 15 years, and this year's our 29th anniversary. So for half of our married life, she's had to put up with me rescheduling our activities for our family around civic service. So, please. And she's here. She's part of Leadership McKinney. The only time I get choked up is when I talk about my wife, but she's here. She's now in Leadership McKinney, so I do appreciate everything that she's done. So our theme is the best is yet to come. And so when I first heard that, I thought, well, so they wait till the year that I'm leaving. And I say, what's that supposed to mean? So, but one thing I realized, and I've said this before, and I'll continue to say it, that I realize that those who have the honor and pleasure of serving the city of McKinney on city council, we are caretakers of the public trust for a short period of time. We know that we pass it on to others. We know that ultimately the policies that we put in place, the plans that we make, in most cases the tangible results of that will not be seen until years after we are off council. The timing of this event is also interesting. I'm not going to make a Cowboys joke, but I am going to talk about the fact that it is an election year. And while this year the focus is not on local elections as much, and it's on state and federal elections, I think it's important to emphasize the differences in responsibilities at the local level of government as we move forward into the future. In 1912, a little history lesson, in 1912, the citizens of the state of Texas voted to amend the Texas Constitution and create home rule cities in cities like McKinney. The Constitution gave the power to local communities to pass charters, to determine the level of governance they desire, the ability to chart the course for their city without the requirement of specific authority from any other level of government. And you ask, well, why is that? Well, it's real simple, because at the local level, we are elected by our neighbors and our friends in our community. We serve, we pass ordinances, we set policies and direction on comprehensive plans for our future. We try to set the course, not just for what we have today, but what we're going to have tomorrow. And we do that on Monday and Tuesday nights. And then on Wednesday mornings, we're going to work at our paying jobs, or we're going to the store, or we're going to children's activities on the weekends, and we're seeing the people that we represent every single day. We have a direct daily report card with those who allow us to lead the community. McKinney's received many accolades over the past few years for our quality of life, diversity of housing, education opportunities, and management of exponential growth, including, among others, we were named the best city for relocation by Forbes magazine in 2009, the best city to raise a family, and ultimately the best city in America by Money magazine in 2014. Those accolades are going to come and go. They're going to go to other cities. Plano was recognized this year. Congratulations to them. But we also have many successes that are not recognized on a daily basis, but they continue to define us as a first-rate community. On the economic development front, much of the success we have in corporate expansion and new development is not readily visible to you, because the businesses that we've been attracting are predominantly in service-oriented businesses or light manufacturing, but they are so important to our community. Companies like Simpson Strong-Tie, Encore Wire, High Sun Motors Corporation, and Blount Foods have all expanded within the recent years, within this past year. Service First Mortgage will be locating in McKinney at the end of this year. Service First Mortgage was recognized as the 4th best mid-sized company to work for in the Metroplex on the Dallas Morning News Top 100 businesses. They will create 128 new jobs, and this will be their United States headquarters. We have a company called Vazeta, will bring a new data center to McKinney this year. We continue to focus on new business opportunities at our airport with the construction of new corporate hangars and following a planning process with representatives from our county and other surrounding cities to plan for future development of the only regional airport that we have in Collin County. And again, think about that. We have the only regional airport. We need to support that airport. New road construction and improvements that have already been set and seen for the past couple of years, and those that are coming in the future, will create new opportunities for corporate office development, new retail development, restaurant projects, all the things that we want to help balance our tax base and create opportunities for our citizens to not only live here in McKinney, but to work here as well. We are holding true to our policies of maintaining a vibrant historic commercial district, historical downtown. We continue to bring vision and tangible results out of our town center study. The recent approval of the new project in downtown will bring 320 living units, restaurant and retail and office development by Robert Shaw and Columbus Realty. It will bring new opportunities for those seeking an urban lifestyle with a historic framework. And as a bonus to that project, if you're not aware, they are actually going to bring Chestnut Street and House Street through the development and reconnect it to our downtown area to connect Chestnut Square back into our historic downtown. Our City Council continues to discuss future parking needs and parking garage opportunities. We're discussing future municipal center needs in our downtown that will enhance the downtown experience and maintain our historic area as the hub for our local government and the city employees that are charged with the responsibility of delivering services on a daily basis. To those of you who will follow my service and that of other council members who are leaving next year, I would emphasize that to achieve what is necessary for the continued success of our city, we not only have to build consensus amongst ourselves, we have to build consensus amongst the community. We are asked to lead in creating a vision for the future of McKinney, but not at the cost of our history and what defines us as unique amongst other cities in Collin County. It's not just the businesses we seek to attract, it's also the preservation of historic downtown, our unique neighborhoods throughout McKinney, our schools, the local shops, the local events that can give a city of 165,000 people the hometown community feel that everyone desires to live in. We can and need to be fiscally conservative, but we also have an obligation and an expectation to provide key city services, rehabilitation and maintenance of aging infrastructure, construction of new infrastructure. We need to provide for the public safety of those who live here, quality of life amenities for our residents to truly provide that live, work, and play environment that everyone strives for. To do that, we have to be willing to invest not just in the decision-making process, but also in the implementation process and the financial investment that sometimes is required to achieve that success. You all hear and you read about the $5 billion mile in Frisco. Congratulations, Mayor Masso. He likes to talk to me about it almost every day. The corporate relocation of Toyota Chase Bank in Plano. But I tell you, those successes were achieved in part because they're located on the Dallas North Tollway, but they were also achieved in part because the cities were willing to create the investment necessary, and in some cases, the incentives necessary to bring those companies to Collin County. As your current mayor, I ask you to support your future mayor and council in the decisions that they will have to make and the investment that they will have to consider as your elected leaders in order to compete on a regional and national level as Texas continues to be the place where companies want to expand or relocate. When I was first elected to city council in 2002, my kids were 4, 6, and 10. I wanted to be part of something that would help shape our community so that when my children and your children were adults, they are now, that they would seriously consider McKinney, Texas as a place where they would want to work and raise their family. My campaign slogan in 2002, which is interesting with what I've seen from the other speakers, my campaign slogan was for McKinney's bright future. Because of the foundation established and purposeful decisions by prior mayors and councils, people like B.B. Cope, Al Rushoff, John Gay, Ben Wisnett, their fellow councils, McKinney established a unique identity tied to it that they've had for more than 150 years. Over the past 14 years, the consensus we've been able to achieve on councils I've served with, either as a council member or as a mayor, that have, it's continued to keep us on that path. We have to stay on this path. I'm done next year. We're going to have a future mayor. They have a good plan. We have a good plan for the future of this city. And we will continue on that path to achieve the goal of a sense of place that our children will want to continue to call their home as they continue to grow. I also have a video I'd like to have you watch, and you just watch this video and you see if you agree with me. We are poised for greatness here in the city of McKinney. So watch this video, please.
Hey now, you better try to seize the day. Hey now, there is nothing left for you to stay. 'Cause can't you see all the emptiness inside? Hey now, just come along and join the ride. Hey now, you've been down too long with your sorrow strong. Hey now, on this road you'll understand. Come my way, just come my way, and I will guide you home. Open up and fly away, no matter what they say. The darkness, you will see the light, and I can promise you'll be alright. Come my way, just come my way, yeah, come my way. Hey now, how come you never seen the signs? Hey now, can't you leave bad things behind? 'Cause can't you see, you'll be better off this way. Hey now, just come along and come my way. Hey now, you've been down too long with your sorrow strong. Hey now, on this road you'll understand. Come my way, just come my way, and I will guide you home. Open up and fly away, no matter what they say.
tried to convince him on that last road to let me ride my bicycle down it. But it was really rocky and we didn't have time, so anyway. But you know, in closing, we are all in this together. I see the beauty in what we have and what is yet to be in McKinney, Texas. And I just want to thank you all for the opportunity allowing me to serve as your mayor for the last 8 years. The best is yet to come. Thank you.